Hello. I wanted to share with you something I've been working on. It is a VJ tracker. Haha, you can see it behind me here. Mm. So I love old school trackers, audio trackers, but I've noticed there isn't really an equivalent for video. There isn't like a VJ tracker. I found mention of some stuff, but nothing that still exists. I think I found something for a Game Boy by One Shot Kill. Um, excuse me, if that was you, I'll link to you in the bio if I messed your name up. Yeah, I wanted to make something that had a cool lo-fi aesthetic, something that was like a bit of a love letter to trackers rather than genuinely being an old school tracker that you had to run on original hardware. Uh, so I just want to show you where it's at. Let me get this screen out of the way, get out of the way. Where can I put you? Put you down here. It's annoying, but not as annoying as you'd think. So uh, I'll give you a brief run through of what we've got here. Up the top here, we've got our song stuff, BPM, number of steps. We've got ghost steps, so that's how many steps we have between each of the actual tracker steps. That helps makes things a bit smoother. We can load and save and new, and we can see on the top right here what palette we've got loaded. So you can have 8 colors kind of on screen at once. Just below that, we've got the song bar. So that shows you where your playhead is at, loops, cues, anything like that. You'll kind of see it referenced across here. That's fun. We all love that. Below that is the tracker. So this is the tracker window, and we've got 4 tracks. Background track, layer 1, sprite track, layer 2, and then we've got global effects. To the right of that, that's our output screen. You can F12 and that will appear as a separate window that you can, scale up in full screen. And when that happens, you get a lower frame rate, much lower resolution version that stays in the window. So you're not completely blind if you're going to a projector or something. We can see as I step through here, I can see a bunch of stuff happening. As you step, you don't see these ghost steps or these extra steps up here. You only see those when you play. And we get to the bottom. So let's run this. So this is using a lot of feedback. On the background layer, we have feedback enabled, which is what it's helping fill the screen so much. Now, if we go down to the next section here, this is our live play section. So for each of the tracks, we have mute, solo, and hush. So mute, as you might guess, here I'm making some of these shapes disappear. Solo, we only see that layer. Hush stops listening to effects. So you can see here, when I turn on hush, this L1 track is no longer listening to effects. And when I turned it back on, you can see it started moving again. I've got to fix some of this spacing up. It's all a bit higgledy-piggledy at the moment. We've also got hush for global effects too. Then we've got a couple of other buttons. You can do all of this using only the keyboard if you want. I'm just using the mouse now so you can see what I'm pointing to as I go there. But you can also, I'll just do it now, you can also use the keyboard's keys to back and forth. So we can jump to the top. We can also set up a loop. So let's go from 4 to 8. And you can use the scroll wheel to change these numbers, or you can use plus and minus, or just type the number in. And you'll notice up the top here, our loop bar start and end position just changed. And when I turn it on, now we are looping. Exit the loop. We've also got tap tempo and a tap tempo divider that you can use. And we can do forwards and backwards steps live as well. So we can kind of nudge if you're trying to get something in time to some music, but a big old nudge. Beneath that, over here, we have setup for our playlist. So you can see as it's been playing, this yellow box has been jumping along here. Across the top here, we've got jumps. Now we've only got one pattern in here, so that's not as exciting as it could be. But if we had more patterns, which, how about I just make one now? So now we've got 2 patterns. I'm going to jump over to here. I'm going to make this pattern 2. I'm going to jump into pattern 2. Let's bring it up. Let's make it 4 steps, just so you can see the difference. I'm over here. Let's go with a layer 1. Let's find something fun. Yep. Great, let's go with one of those. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. Let's go right down to the end. So this is going to be animated. Go up to the top. Right. So if I go down to here, we can kind of build a set or build a song here. So we're going to go pattern 1. I want it to repeat twice. The manual explains all of these commands and stuff like that. I want it to repeat twice, and then here I want it to play once and go back 1 step. So if I'm up here, we should see this pattern now plays twice. And then that second pattern played once, and it comes back. And so you can do things like jump outside of that little loop we've programmed here, and now it will continue to play across till it gets to 12, and then it will wrap around and enter back into here. And so there's a bunch of cool kind of commands you can do there. Let's bring it back to here. You've also got cues, and cues are specific to each pattern. So let's see what happens when I change patterns. Yep, you can see the cues changed back. To make my life easier, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Cool. Now it's just going to play the same thing forever. Make our lives a bit easier. So we've got these cues, and there are hotkeys for these cues, but we can play these live. That's fun. It's also we've also got some effects. You can't see my keyboard, but if I hit the U key, we freeze, but the playhead keeps moving, and then we can jump back in. If we hit I, it'll strobe in time. If we hit O, we get a kind of scrambling effect. And then if we hit P, we get a kind of glitchy rolling effect. So those are some real-time effects on there. Down here is where we declare our palettes. So I'm gonna take this, let's take something like this yellow. I'll make it a pink. I'll save the palette. You can see that yellow has become pink. And there's shortcuts for all of, where is it? function lock before. Nope. That was me opening the window. Why is it 40 that? Oh, there we go. We've got shortcuts for all of the key bindings. We've got shortcuts for all of the instruments, not all of them. I need to fix that up a little bit. We've got shortcuts for all of the colors. And then we can also break the, break the output into another window. So like I was saying, we've got a bunch of palettes, and you can change palettes using the global effects channel. So that's kind of a way that you might get extra palettes in, extra colors in. You can kind of swap palettes on the fly. Other stuff. Where am I? The stuff that's fun is I've got audio input. So you can see as I'm speaking, we have audio coming in there, and we can set an amp and a threshold there, which will allow us to, in this case, we can set it to advance when audio is over a certain threshold. That's fun. Or there's also audio reactive instruments. So all of these shapes, that you can see here have audio reactive versions. If I keep going across the bottom here, we've got images. You can load an image and you can load a sprite sheet. That's what it looks like zoomed in. Escape, sprite sheet. So, you can obviously put in your own stuff there. And we've also got text. So there's a text instrument. You can load your own text. That's fun. Maybe a good way to fool around and see how easy it is let's just start a new composition. So I'm going to say I want 6 in between ghost steps. I want 16. I want a single pattern. And then let's start messing around. So you can see here, I'll put it in the middle. 4 and 4. Yep. I'm gonna cycle through some instruments. I'm calling them instruments, but they're kind of visual elements. So we've got a whole bunch of different shapes. Hollow versions of the same shapes. Yep, solid colors. Gradients. Let's see what that is. That's text. I don't know why it's off to one side, all funny like that. We've got tunnels. And so our value thing here lets us manipulate the effects in different ways, depending on the effect. I need to make a guide for that. But so if you're in the actual effect column, you can hit enter and also pick the effect by name. I thought that was kind of a nice touch. What have we got? We've got some 3D shapes here you can manipulate. We've got some evolving stuff too. So you can see here, we've got some patterns that we can evolve. What else have we got? Lots of patterns. For complex patterns like this, like simulation patterns, the color, in fact, actually determines how many different colors you have, rather than like the base starting color. So what else we got? Lots of evolving patterns. Oh, yep. This is Metaball, is it? Yep. So this is, we could squeeze together a Metaball. That's pretty fun. Vinoy. This is incredibly slow to run. I got to fix this up. We've got this beautiful thing. What's that mean? This needs a bit of work. What am I looking at? All right, now there you go. Is that? Oh. Yeah. This is meant to rotate. It doesn't. But we can select the number of blades. Yeah. Work in progress. Here's our text instrument. Zero. And the scale a bit off. So I'll open up a bit. I unfortunately have not spent as much time messing around with this as I'd like. So this is the text that we've loaded from down the bottom. What else have we got? You'd have to go through this, spend your time. Yep, so here is one of the audio reactive effects, a waveform. I'll just up the amplitude a bit. Aha, cha-cha, cha-cha. What else is it worth showing? Maybe it's worth just messing around with making something. So let's see. I'm going to copy this. Gonna put this waveform on top. You can let's make this. What do we think? Feedback, maybe. Where's feedback? Where is feedback? Hey. All right. There we go. All right. 39 is feedback. Okay, so when you're running feedback, you end up with this. Let's do some effects. I'm going to have to read my... Oh, that's the cat. Yes, hello, George. I'm going to have to read my manual to work out what all the effects are. Yeah, scale. So 5 is scale. 6. Hey, great. So that means we're going to scale up. Hey, cool. Now it rushes away. Great. That looks cool. And I'm going to go 1A, hey. So 1A, that's transparency. Hey. Hey. Yeah, cool. Now we've got something cool. Sorry if I'm yelling. Oh, hello, George. George the cat has come to join me. Great. So now we've got some feedback here. What else shall we add? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'll use this. And what I will do is, under the G, that's glide, I'm going to turn on C, copy this, right down to the bottom, Control V, and so I'm going to add a few of these copies. And on each of these, I'm going to change the grid. Yeah, okay, so that's something pretty fun, something pretty cool. You can see it's staggering at the end. I can get around that by having the final step of effect not included, by lowering the steps. There we go. Haha, so that's pretty fun. We can see our shape is love and life. Let's go through and have a color change partway through. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so it's going to start off orange and then it's going to change to blue halfway through. I don't know. Maybe that's fun. I'm just working pretty quick here. Yeah, George, what's up, bud? Come to say hello? Yeah. Okay. What about making a global effect? So what kind of global effect do I want? Let's try flip a. Yeah, let's try something like that. So yeah, now we've got even more kind of movement. Hi, buddy. Hello. Might have to call it quits in a minute if someone wants to hang out. And if yeah, let's do that. Split that in 4. Back to 0. This thing over here, 1, yeah. 1, cool. Yeah, let's see what we got here. F. Yeah, okay. So, I don't know. I don't love that, but such is life. Sometimes they can't all be winners. They can't all be winners. Let's see what else we got here. What other cool effect do we want? Let's see if we can. We've got a hand effect. Yeah, great. Introduce some panning here. So yeah, you can see we're messing stuff up. It's kind of fun. This is just using built-in stuff. You can also obviously load your own things in there, and that would probably be, you know, a bit more interesting. Maybe I'll make a video showing off more of that kind of stuff, more of loading your own kind of images and things in there. Because the sprite layer, I didn't really look at the sprite layer, but the sprite layer over here is how you would do things like load images and load sprites and manipulate them. So anyway, I don't know. I just wanted this to be a kind of quick look at, I say quick, but it's, been about 25 minutes. I just wanted this to be like a quick look at some of the features, some of the things to know about this VJ tracker and be aware of. So thanks for checking this out. Till next time.